Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Nishta.
What is important consideration for all of us is how impactful certain things can be. Like, for example, if I'm able to promise someone that they will reach their homes 5 minutes early than the daily course, right? Or if I'm able to provide a victim of an accident within the golden hour, if I'm able to make them to move to the hospital or for a treatment, the right appropriate treatment in time within the golden hour, right? Or if I'm able to make sure that people who are not following the traffic rules and ensuring that they are actually penalized and put to task, right? So and if suppose a long-term phenomenon of getting uh, sick because of exposure to pollution on the ground when you're traveling, so these are all not good things, or the best things that can actually happen for people, right? If you are able to come up with a solution which can promise these things to people, why will not people embrace those things, right? So I think the leadership is all about looking at what the customer needs and customer needs are, and trying to be part of those solutions which will actually fulfill those needs. I think I was just recently coming back from Dubai, the World ITS Congress, where one of the important themes that have been talked about is mobility for all as a right. As a right, people are now started discussing, right? So how can we move towards that era where mobility is being assured? If like any other freedom of speech or other things, then how can we assure that it's not easy. The kind of challenges that we discussed and the kind of scenarios that we were talking about, the possibilities that we were talking about by doing that are tremendous.
Absolutely.
So it's important to think on those lines.
Absolutely. So what is predominantly coming out from this particular, element of our conversation is like big picture thinking.
Yeah.
Don't look at it like, okay, what can I solve now and then for 1 year down the lane, right?
Yes.
Look at it from the big picture, like 20 years, 30 years, because
Yeah.
it's a huge investment. It's not like a simple thing. It's a huge investment, again, people's money is getting into investing in such projects, right? When we are taking in people's money and then putting it over there, taxpayers' money and putting it over there, thinking long term, really, really long term, mapping it with different needs of the end customer. Because here we cannot really bucket the end customer. So here, one more perspective which comes to my mind right now.
Yeah.
One is, you are all creating that, right? People like me are using it, but it is also equally important for me to be responsible, in using whatever the facility that I'm getting, right? Infrastructure that I'm getting, right? So anything that you can share with us so that we also support it
Yes,
instead
yes.
of
I think
just sitting back and then complaining.
one of the important things that we have been now championing, and then there's going to be a big campaign that is actually going to start, and which in multiple ways it started, but then now it's going to be more predominant and strong, is that the citizens of Bangalore have to be more responsible in making their travel choices. Like, for example, simple thing like if you know that I have a good access to public transport, and if I can actually use that, then why do I actually have to drive all the way? Then is there a way that I can commute to my office, right, or to any of my other meetings or destinations using metro rail? Go to the nearest metro station in whatever the mode accessible to you and whatever the best way that suits you the most. But make sure that you are actually the one leg of your trip is on public transport, right? So wherever it is accessible to you, that's something that we need to talk about. One of the important decisions that is also is, do I really need to travel? One of the first things, just because I'm okay to travel, that I don't need to travel. So today that's one of the important things that need to be evaluated by individuals. The third important thing is, people need to make informed decisions about their destination choices based on what is the purpose. and the time choices that they need to make, right? Why do I have to go for a shopping during the peak time, right? Why do I actually have to go only to A destination or a B destination when I know that the C destination, which is closer to me and which is accessible on metro, can provide me the similar things? Are we taking informed decisions? Most of the times, I can tell you for sure, 7 or out of 10 people are just making those decisions based on their memories, based on what they like. And one of the important things that we were discussing with the commissioner, traffic commissioner Bangalore the other day was also like, in Bangalore, there were certain routes which are actually used, people use them blindly. Even if there are alternate roads available, even if the road that they're using is congested, they still want to continue to use the same road and not to use the alternate roads. I don't know, there's a block that people actually, so we need to come out of that mental block that, yes, is there a way that I can look at an alternate route? Why do I actually have to my conventional? Are we just before starting to office or my meeting or for any other purpose, are we opening up the map and then asking the map the question as to what is the right, what are the right destinations available to me, or what is the right time that I can actually go, or what is the right route for me to actually take to go to, and right mode to take to that path? I think that's where we want to make, we want to come up with a solution where we are actually enabling people to take their travel decisions more informed travel decisions and more responsible decisions. I think that's where I think we need to drive the mindset of people. And of course, on the authority side also, what we are now trying to drive is at least wherever there is a potential possibility of making destinations accessible through a non-motorized transport mode, make sure we are creating a safe infrastructure for them to, like, for example, if a school or a college is actually is nearby to a residential community, is there a way that residential community is connected to those schools through a safe infrastructure, through cycling or through any other alternate or walking, right? So that as parents, we are actually confident of sending our kids on cycle to school, rather than why a bus has to actually, even a car has to be used to drop the kids.
Absolutely.
So I think those are the kind of informed decisions and responsible decisions that we are trying to drive, both from the user community point of view and also from the authority point of view.
Again, no, if you look at it, it is coming down to collaborative way, right?
Absolutely.
It's not only the provider or the creator, also the user, creator as well the user. We have to think collaboratively and then bring in solution, so that whatever long term that we want to achieve something, we'll be able to, right? If I just leave everything to the creator, I will do everything as I like. It's not going to work out, right?
One of the important aspects also is that the service providers, like for example, the cab service providers, whether it's Ola, Uber, Rapido, Namayatris, or any other travel aggregators, they also need to be thinking responsibly now. I think they also need to see how they can actually be part of a larger ecosystem, which is actually, if tomorrow government comes up with a proposal to create a multimodal integration framework, right? They need to sign up to those things rather than thinking that, no, I would only want to do my service and I don't want to, because it's a social responsibility. Being in the business, you can't be causing more harm to the community through your business.
Absolutely.
Right? So I think that's where more responsible thinking that need to come from the business or the service provider side of the story also.
The strategies need to be aligned, right?
Aligned.
When they are creating any business strategy, it should be aligned with the the transportation.
All the key stakeholder interests.
Yeah, absolutely. See, that is where that strategy alignment is very, very, very important. Like, for example, when you were, asking the users to create your, travel plan properly, right?
Yeah.
And especially now that with all AI and, all the technology, advanced technology, everything is there in my fingertip, right? Just in a single minute, I can easily plan, okay, from Whitefield to Kanakapura, if I have to travel, okay, what is the right time so that I don't spend time in traffic? And then what is the nearest metro that I can catch? And then where should I, get down to reach wherever I want to reach? Other perspective that what I would like to highlight here is even the metro, right? Metro system now that, we have metro system in Whitefield. it's a big sigh of relief, right? So I don't have to depend on my driver. I don't have to depend on my car, right? If the car is not available, I used to plan because Ola or Uber, I cannot rely on. Okay, maybe I may reach the destination. There is no guarantee that while coming back, I will get.
Liability factor is actually
Right?
less when you
That's a
try to.
major thing. And, relying on the buses were not an option because it was taking the whole Bangalore trip after before I could reach home. So
Yeah,
metro has been a major boost. Not only the system, also the, whatever the app form it is available, in
correct.
the web form that it is available, where the infrastructure has been clearly, the transparency in that system, in that communication system, right? That has been a great boon. But as you rightly said, how far we are using it?
Yeah, yeah.
We are leveraging it to create a plan so that not only that I reach safely, I am also supporting the ecosystem.
One of the problems what we are noticing with Bangalore is we have more, the vehicle ownership is now highest in the country.
Ah,
Right? Now
yeah,
it's so much limitation that we have on the infrastructure that we can create.
absolutely.
And so many vehicles are getting registered every day.
Mm,
So it's only that as users, we need to be responsible. Okay, we are not stopping you from owning a car, but
absolutely.
then be responsible in using it.
Very true. Very true. So, this is one question that I ask leaders from all the industries. I would like to understand from your industry, your viewpoint as well. See, nowadays in a single team, we see that multi generations are, working together, right? So youngsters are calling, elders as old school, right? Yeah, elders are calling youngsters as okay, no respect. They are irresponsible, right? All these words are being exchanged, right? So what is your experience? What are the challenges that you see in your organization, or it could be in your industry, as a leader who is handling the whole country? What sort of multi-generational challenges that you see, and then how are you solving it?
See, I think there are two sides of a coin always, right?
Mm.
One of the best things that I've actually experienced and have been advantage at an advantage point is because the young generation brings a lot of innovation or a lot of freshness, a lot of new thinking into the table, right? So that has been always a positive thing for us, even as being part of Arcades or IBI. And throughout my other companies, what I've actually seen is, as most of the times the young generation has always brought in a good amount of freshness and new thinking into the table, and very innovative thinking that actually have been brought to the table. So while I say that, at the same time, they're also very aspirational in nature. They want things to be quick. They want to grow quick. Everything is fast for them. So while that is actually good, I think being aspirational is very essential. But I think what is important at this point in time as corporates to realize is to encourage them, right? The only way that you can actually have, rather than limiting them by their age, I think we need to think about the prospects that they bring to the table by encouraging them and the capability and capacity that they are actually able to add, and what benefits you can actually reap by giving them their or fulfilling their aspirations,
Mm.
right? I think that's the most important thing that as corporates and as companies that we are now trying to leverage is that we are trying to see how we can promote young leadership in the team, right? So as I've been rightly telling you, I think we never look at leadership as one with only with a high level of designation or a high position, but we also look at people how they are being demonstrating their leadership at every stage of their professional career, right? So I think while I do that part, there is also challenge that you actually see from the point of view of bridging the gap between the old team versus the young team, right? So definitely we need to actually be as management, we see a lot of a big role to play in how you can actually put those two people across the table and then make appreciate each other's relevance and also implement importance in the whole scheme of things, right?
Absolutely.
What the young generation can do, the older generation cannot do. We have to accept that
Mm.
fact. Or what old generation brings to the table, the young generation may not have that part. So what the experience and then the depth of understanding and their ability to see beyond that the older generation can bring, the younger generation should be able to leverage on that part, right? Only when they are able to, again, collaboration is the key that we can actually bring in. So while we talk about a multi-generational thing, what two other dimensions that I also see is also about the diversity in today's corporate ecosystem, being giving equal importance to women at workplace, making sure that they also have trust and the dignity, and then they also have an equal opportunity to perform. And the third important thing is also with the world coming to one, we also have multinationality coming into picture, right? So today I don't see any company avoid multinationality in their teams. If not today, tomorrow, everyone has to actually have to come across. And the diversity in cultures or nationalities, understanding and being empathetic about those cultures is also very important.
It's great that you brought in diverse, diversity also in the picture, as well the multi nationals. Yeah, in a day to day operations in living, so one way or another, we are directly or indirectly we are connected, right?
Yes.
So I do not know the system that Zoom, where I'm using Zoom now, right? I do not know who are all working towards creating some experience that we are having, right? So which are all the nationals involved here. So there is a direct or indirect dependency as well. That interdependency is always there, right? And when it comes to the young professionals who want to build a career, in this field, right? So what are the growth opportunities available? Something that you can shed light on that would be great.
I think one of the important advices that I always give to all our young joinees, we also do a lot of training programs for students. So we are working with RV College of Engineering. We work with Rasta, which is actually the Vishwesvaraya Institute of Technology's extended arm. So we are also working with a lot of premier institutes in IIT Bombay or IIT Hyderabad. And also with other large education institutes. Most important thing is, while being aspirational is good, but I think it's important to embrace the work as it comes and not to differentiate the work as being low or high or coming up with that pre-context is not a right way to actually progress forward. So one of the important things, whatever is given to you, I think learn to do it, embrace it as a work, look at it as a work. Like, so like the way our Bhagavad Gita also translates, everything is karma. What is you need to do is your karma. Do the work in the best possible way that you would want to do it. You are expected to do it, rather than giving it a color, right? So that is one of the important advices that I always give to the young for growing their careers and becoming more professional. In coming into the opportunities, I actually say that traffic and transportation, of course, is one of the very promising, because mobility is going to be the challenge. As long as the mankind is there, the mobility is going to be, and then we are talking it as a mobility as a right now. So it's going to be there. So uh, there's going to be a huge promise of good careers in this domain. And I would encourage people to pursue that part in terms of whether working with the city mobility, or whether you are working with interregional mobility or aviation or ports, freight, movement of goods. What e-commerce is today, e-commerce is nothing but is also deals with traffic and transportation.
Absolutely.
End of the day, while you are only the buying it online, end of the day, physically it has to be delivered at your doorstep.
Absolutely.
So that's also a transportation problem.
Absolutely.
It's all. So I think it's important to look at that as a prospect, irrespective of domain. I always say, I think the generation to come has to actually look at rather than just everything in a monetary terms. They need to also see how impactful is their work in improving the quality of life of people in wherever they live or wherever they diverse. So having building careers on those kind of strong value-based drivers is always going to be very it's a path assured of success, right?
Absolutely, absolutely. Because I get to mentor or coach young generation, right? Young leaders, young generation.
Yeah,
It could be from the from the academia, or on their own they take up coaching, mentoring from me. So one difference that I see compared to say 2-3 years ago and today, right? I see more and more youngsters, especially those who are coming out of college or in the verge of 1 year, 2 year experience in that time frame. They want to work in more projects where it is creating some impact to the society, right?
absolutely. Yeah.
So this is one path where they can get that fulfilled also.
Absolutely.
It could be about policy creation. It
Yes.
could be about data analysis,
Right.
technology as well, non-technology. These two spaces I see that more youngsters are willing to spend their time and effort. Of course, there is one set where the monetary value is what they are
Yeah.
looking at, but majority of the youngsters I see that monetary aspect is there. Yeah, of course they want to chill in their life, so for that
Yeah.
they need money, right?
Yeah.
But at the same time they are so responsible. They want to do something. They want to they when they talk about I want to leave something for the next generation. I was like, okay, you have just started your journey. You're thinking about the generation that you are going to leave, right? So that thought, whenever I get an opportunity to listen, right, I feel good about myself and as well the world that we are living in.
Yeah. In fact, when
So
one of the things that I always say is that when you actually have to look back after traveling a few steps, you need to be really making big. You should be proud of yourself for
absolutely,
contributing.
absolutely. Yeah, that thought is fantastic, and this has been a fantastic and unique conversation, I would
Yeah.
say. Yeah,
Yeah.
because the focus is more on community and then humanity. What can we do to the humanity in the long run? No, of course, the problems you are solving is current,
Yeah.
where we are all getting engaged and then benefited. At the same time, it has been seen long term, right?
Correct.
So that way, I'm so thankful to you for your time and
My pleasure, and then thank you for. I don't know how much value I'm able to add, but I'm just sharing my experience with you all. I hope it will be of good use and maybe
definitely,
some
definitely,
impact to the young minds
absolutely,
that are being targeted.
absolutely. Thank you so much.
Right.